Very, very interesting guy. Very intense. It's a very sad thing.
Top Gun and Batman star Val Kilmer has passed away, aged 65. His family revealing he died from pneumonia. Val leaves behind daughter Mercedes and son Jack, as well as a 4-decade-long acting legacy. Tonight, the world remembers a Hollywood legend.
Val Kilmer was never just another Hollywood leading man. He was a mystery wrapped in raw talent. Some called him a genius. Others whispered about the friction on set that overshadowed his brilliance. And now, with his recent passing at 65, fans across the globe find themselves looking back at the surprising twists, controversies, and private battles he faced behind the scenes. But was the public version of Val Kilmer the full story? Or was there more lurking beneath that confident exterior? Secrets he left behind, friendships he fractured, and moments that even his biggest admirers never knew? Keep watching, because what's about to unfold goes far beyond the headlines.
Feels like a battle.
I suppose you're a warrior.
I am the greatest swordsman that ever lived.
Val Kilmer was born in Los Angeles in 1959, and from day one, Hollywood seemed to be his destiny. While many aspiring performers dream about prestigious acting schools, Val actually made it into Juilliard at just 17. That alone was a jaw-dropping feat. He was among the youngest students ever accepted into the revered program. But even then, life wasn't all standing ovations and applause. Val once spoke about the heartache of losing his younger brother right before starting at Juilliard. Those close to him say that pain fueled his creativity, turning him into an actor unafraid to tap into the darker, more vulnerable depths of every character. In his earliest stage performances, people noticed a fearless spark, something that set him apart from the crowd. He wasn't just reciting lines, he was living them. Directors recognized the raw potential, the hint of rebellion lurking in that talented kid who refused to settle for mediocre roles or phone in performances. But that was barely the tip of the iceberg.
I have an appointment. I'm Bruce Wayne.
Hollywood took notice in the mid-1980s, hurling Val from the theater spotlight into Tinseltown's Ring of Fire. His first big step? A wacky, music-infused parody called Top Secret, a movie that let him sing, dance, and deliver comedic lines with a dead serious face. This unexpected start showed something big. Val Kilmer wasn't looking to be pigeonholed. Soon after, the role that really blasted him into the mainstream arrived in 1986, Top Gun. Playing Lieutenant Tom Iceman Kazansky, Val stood toe-to-toe with Tom Cruise in a way few actors could. Critics praised the chemistry, fans adored the rivalry, and suddenly Kilmer found himself a household name. He might have been the antagonist, but the audience couldn't stop talking about that ice-cold swagger. Off-camera, rumors about Val's intensity began circulating. Some claimed he insisted on staying in character, turning every break between takes into a silent, distant stare that rivaled the character he was portraying on screen. Was it method acting? Was it arrogance? Depending on who you asked, it was the start of either a remarkable dedication or a troublemaking streak. Still, this was only the beginning of the legend he would become.
You can be my wingman anytime. Bullshit. You can be mine.
Val's next transformation would stun everyone, taking on the role of Jim Morrison in The Doors. Whether he was perfecting the late singer's howling vocals or diving into Morrison's mindset, Val caused a stir. Reportedly, he immersed himself so deeply that even the film's director was alarmed by how far Kilmer would push. Some said he became Jim Morrison, adopting the rock star's explosive temperament and unpredictable nature. Then came the role that launched him into superhero status, Batman in Batman Forever. Stepping into the shadow of Michael Keaton's iconic portrayal was no small feat, but Val gave Gotham City a new kind of Dark Knight. Yet not all was smooth behind the scenes. The rumor mill churned out tales of tension with director Joel Schumacher. Some suspected creative clashes, others whispered about a meltdown or two on set. Kilmer's defenders insisted he was just passionate about the role, unwilling to compromise the character's integrity. But that wasn't the only set that felt the heat. By the mid-1990s, word spread of Val's intense arguments with various directors, particularly during The Island of Dr. Moreau, which devolved into a notorious Hollywood fiasco. Between a chaotic production and rumored standoffs with co-star Marlon Brando, Val got labeled difficult by the tabloids. Did that label stick, or was he misunderstood? One thing certain, the man never walked away from a challenge, even if it caused behind-the-scenes storms. What about Val's life off camera? That's where things get even more intriguing. Romantic entanglements added another layer to Val Kilmer's mystique, and there was plenty to talk about. His high-profile relationship with Cher lasted for 2 years. While some fixated on their 13-year age gap, insiders said the Real spark was a fierce intellectual and artistic connection. Cher later reminisced that neither of them had been actively seeking romance. It simply ignited. After Cher, Val crossed paths with actress Joanne Whalley on the set of Willow. Sparks flew, leading to a wedding that fans thought might last forever. The couple had 2 children, Mercedes and Jack, but the relationship fizzled after several years. Rumors swirled that Val's career ambitions and restless personality took a toll on the marriage. Others pointed to the difficulty of being a Hollywood power couple. By 1996, the split was official. And then there was Angelina Jolie. While working on Alexander, the rumor mill claimed Kilmer developed more than just professional admiration for her. Val himself joked that Angelina could make just about any man lose his mind. Did anything serious really happen? They always kept that question unanswered. Whether it was real or just gossip, fans were left to imagine the possibilities. But as time marched on, Val began facing challenges that not even a Hollywood star could avoid.
For me, the sun rises and sets with her, man.
Behind the bright lights and media frenzy, Val Kilmer battled a private storm, a throat cancer diagnosis in 2014. In public, he was tight-lipped at first, brushing off concerned questions. Some believed he'd retreated from Hollywood because he was tired of the spotlight. Others guessed there was something more serious going on. When he finally came forward, fans were shocked to discover the extent of his condition. The treatments, which reportedly included chemo and a tracheotomy, altered his voice and made breathing a challenge. Despite these setbacks, Val exuded resilience. Online chatter buzzed about how the star was unrecognizable, but those who met him in person spoke of a gentle spirit determined to heal. During those quieter years, rumors rose about the possibility of a last hurrah, a final performance that would remind the world of Val's raw talent. Between hush-hush doctor visits and cryptic social media posts, speculation ran wild. Was he planning a comeback? Was he in denial about his health? Or was he quietly preparing his own exit from the public eye? In the midst of these questions, he began telling his own story in the most personal way possible.
You put a live round in that gun.
Oh, yeah, there was like an 8% chance.
8%?
Wasn't it just 8?
8?
Yeah.
Who taught you math?
Val Kilmer resurfaced in a surprising form, through his own lens. The documentary, simply titled Val, hit the world screens in 2021, stitched together from his personal video diaries and decades of private footage. For fans who only knew him as the elusive superstar, it was like stepping into his memories, raw and unfiltered. His children, Mercedes and Jack, played a huge role in bringing this project to life, with Jack even serving as narrator. Suddenly, the public saw Kilmer as more than just an actor with rumored on-set blow-ups. He was a father who doted on his kids, an eccentric artist painting and writing on his New Mexico ranch, and a man struggling with the physical toll of his illness. The film sparked new conversations about who he really was beneath the Hollywood hype. Critics praised it as a startlingly candid portrait of a person who'd always kept everyone guessing. Around the same time, he released his memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, reflecting on a career that soared to stratospheric heights, yet often left him feeling misunderstood. It was a chance to peel back the curtains on the roles he fought for, and the battles he never intended the public to see. He touched on heartbreak, regret, spiritual searching, raw confessions that proved he was more than the difficult star or Batman with an attitude problem. But the real shock came with one final Hollywood moment.
It was like a battle.
I suppose you're a warrior.
I am the greatest swordsman that ever lived.
Fans might have assumed Kilmer's days of big-screen cameos were done. Then came 2022, when he reunited with Tom Cruise for a poignant appearance in Top Gun: Maverick. Critics called that scene the film's emotional anchor, a mirror of the real bond Val and Tom share behind the cameras for decades. The cameo wasn't just a nostalgic nod, it was a reminder of how his talent could still command a room. Even though his voice had changed, the presence was unmistakably Val Kilmer, charismatic, intense, and unapologetically himself. Some viewers admitted to tears during that reunion, remembering Iceman's iconic grin from the original Top Gun. It felt like the perfect capstone to a career full of unpredictable leaps and stunning turns. And then came the day that fans had dreaded for years. Val passed away at 65, leaving behind a tsunami of tributes. Co-stars from every phase of his life spoke about how they'd never forget that fearless approach. He was an actor's actor, one who could transform into anything. Social media lit up with messages from the very people who once clashed with him on set, now openly praising his genius. But there's still one more piece to this story. Proves that Hollywood legends aren't always neat or pretty. He was a star who sparked intense debate, from his unstoppable rise to his well-known struggles and rumored disputes. Friends called him a deeply caring soul, colleagues labeled him challenging, and fans adored his willingness to keep us all guessing. Now, with his absence keenly felt, his legacy looms larger than ever. There's no single way to define him. Was he the defiant Hollywood rebel or the misunderstood innovator? Maybe he was both. What we do know is that his films, passion projects, and even his personal battles left an unforgettable mark on millions. So as we say goodbye, we can choose to remember him for the unstoppable power he brought to every performance, or we can reflect on the unspoken moments that revealed his softer side. Ultimately, Val Kilmer's life and career challenge us to see beyond the tabloid labels and remember that true artistry is rarely simple or safe. May his legacy remind us that sometimes the brightest lights cast the deepest shadows, and only by stepping behind the camera or onto the stage do we catch a glimpse of what's really real.
On Peace on his New Mexico ranch, where he painted, wrote, and supported young theater students in bringing Twain and Shakespeare to life. Rest in peace, legend. You will be deeply missed.